Final game of the round robin in the North American pool. John, I was kind of impressed with the way Slovakia performed in the game against Russia. Curtis Joseph is back in tonight to start for Team Canada. He looked sharp in the opening game of the tournament and met Slovakia in that pre-tournament game in Edmonton.
He played very well in that pre-tournament game. He stopped about 5 breakaways. He had problems handling the puck against the Russians. And I think that's why Glenn Sather made the change. Curtis Joseph was very good stopping the puck, but outside the net, he was an adventure.
Well, speaking of that, at the other end, Jaromir Dragin was drop-kicked from the starting lineup after allowing 7 to the Russians yesterday, and Roman Mega gets his first ever start for Slovakia. I'm a little disappointed because I wanted to hear your analysis of Dragin, but you're wondering about Mega and how he'll stand up against the great Canadian shooters.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on the entire team, but on a goaltender who hasn't played at the international level, getting his first start in Ottawa, although the Slovaks are the home team, obviously, on the road, a lot of pressure. And he's a little goaltender, 154 pounds. It's hard for him to cover much of the net.
Well, you've always been biased to larger goaltenders like yourself. Mark Fossetт in charge of proceedings tonight. Kevin Collinz and Scott Driscoll. And Fossettt calling the centers in for the face-off. It's Eric Lindros and Joseph Stumple. We know the Slovakians can score. And the big line is out with Peter Boндра, Stumple, and Zygmunt Palffy. And the Boston Bruins center fires it in. There's Boндra on right wing. It comes around for Eric Dejardin. And Dejardin in front of his own net, and Palffy was there. Dejardin again pushing it ahead. Brendan Shanahan returning to the lineup. And Boндra backhands it in. And we've got an injured player out at center ice for Team Canada as Keith Primo is a little woozy.
And I think that's what it is. He's had his bell rung. It looked like his knees were just giving way. It wasn't a knee problem. And Keith Primo has been one of the best Canadian forwards, at least the most consistent Canadian forward. And there's Ken Lowe, and obviously he's checking his eyes, asking him, do you know where you are? And Keith Primo saying he's all right. You can see his words as he talked to Ken Lowe. You sure now? Are you sure? Primo goes down heavily as he ran into Eric Lindros, and it was Primo that took Lindros' knee to the head.
Here's a steal by the Slovakians. And it's cleared just outside the line. Hashčak, Seeger, and Kolnik, the forward unit for Slovakia. Puck cleared on the left wing, too far for Damfusss, who's out there with Gretzky and Trevor Linden. Gretzky with a couple of goals last night. Canada playing its 3rd game in 4 nights. Here's Kolnik at center, and that's broken up. Scott Stevens sends Linden away. Here's Gretzky over the line, shooting, and Mega makes his first stop. Slovakia clearing it down the ice, and Adam Foote back to touch it to get the icing call.
You look at the Slovakian lineup, and you can recognize some of the names. Robert Svela played so well for Florida in the playoffs. Ivan Dropa has been one of their best defensemen, and he plays in the Chicago organization. He was up with the Blackhawks for a couple of games last year. And you look at their forward lines, their number 1 line, obviously Boндra, Stumple, and Palffy, but also Zdeno Seeger and Miroslav Shatan offer a lot of offense for this Slovak team.
From the face-off, puck cleared wide, and a penalty is coming up as Fleury hops on the puck. There's Steve Yzerman, who was pulled down, and a penalty coming up against Slovakia. The extra attacker out for Canada. Here's Fleury, a quick shot off the ankle of Yzerman. Foot moving up. Yzerman behind the net with Joe Sackick. Sackick maintains control in the slot. Foot couldn't get a shot away. Coffey across ice as Canada already on the power play for about 20 extra seconds before the penalty call is made.
Mark Fossetт is signaling a holding penalty right from the face-off, and the Slovaks don't know who is going to go. Slovaks felt they would have a problem standing around watching. Joseph Bukna goes off for holding right from the face-off. Standing around watching the Canadians, they felt they'd be in awe of the superstars. I think here's an example. Steve Айзерман, all tied up. Bukna hauls him down, takes a holding penalty.
Penalty to Slovakia's number 29, Mate Bukna, 2 minutes for holding. Time of the penalty, 1:59.
Mate Bukna, and I called him Joseph. I thought Joseph was a little easier to pronounce. M-A-T-E-J, Bukna. So I changed his first name.
So Canada going to the power play, 4 for 11 in the tournament. Coffee at the right point. There's Gretzky. Back to Coffee. Boндра, one of the penalty killers, lost his stick and sweeps it down the ice with his glove.
Slovaks gave up 3 power play goals to the Russians yesterday, and they felt that was one of their real downfalls.
Here's Gretzky over the line. Tried to dish it off to Lindros. Coffee the shot right on. Rebound, and Mega cleared it. Gretzky tries to center it. Stumple there, and he'll clear it out to center ice. Joe Sackick at the point with Coffee for Team Canada. 45 seconds gone in the power play. And Lindros winding up. Gretzky awaits the pass at the blue line. Fires it across. Here's Coffee. Weak shot. Side of the net. Centered Shanahan. And he couldn't put it in as Mega was down. Back to Shanahan again. Gretzky leading the Canadians in scoring. Shanahan right on. Rebound. And Lindros crashing in there. Dropa takes him out. They double team Lindros in the corner. Now Palffy in to help out. Shanahan checked him, and now here's a 2-on-1 for Slovakia. And Shanahan broke it up. And there are some fans of Slovakia in the building that thought a penalty should have been called. Here's Messier over the line, 20 seconds to go in the power play. And Slovakia clears it back down.
Brendan Shanahan, a good job coming back. Hashchuk took the dive trying to draw the penalty. Mark Fossettt would have nothing to do with that.
Shanahan at the line, just missed Messier with the pass, and that will do it. As Bukna has returned to the ice. Here's a turnover. Zdeno Seger can't get loose. At the point, chopped back in by Varholek. And now out comes Team Canada, led by Trevor Linden. Dancing in is Adam Graves, and he fired it wide. And Slovakia not taking any chances, just clearing it away.
Trevor Linden, a good rush, and we were wondering whether he'd be able to play after that big hit from John LeClair yesterday.
Here's Claude Lemieux, who got the early ejection from the game last night in Philadelphia. Lemieux behind the net, lost his footing. Linden has it. Trevor Linden trying to get away from Ivan Dropa. Here's a shot, steered aside. Sylvain Cote at the point for Team Canada, seeing his first action in the World Cup. Dropa at center. Cross-ice pass. Trying to catch up with it was Shatan, and that was broken up. Cote lets it go around the boards, and Lemieux at center. Lost control of it. Varholek up ahead, and here comes Slovakia. Canada turns that over and gets it outside the line. Shatan is after it. Canada will dump it in off the stick of Scott Stevens. In forechecking is Joe Sackick with Айзерман. Ribovic can't get it out for the Slovaks. Now Varholek. Over 5.5 minutes gone. First period, still no score. And a good pace here at the Corral Center. Here's T.Fleury. Snap the shot wide. Canada still with just one shot on goal. In front, Primo! Stopped by Mega. So Keith Primo has returned to the ice. After leaving, he collides with Varholek, comes up with a puck. This is the big line for Canada, size-wise. Lindros with Shanahan and Primo. Puck along the boards, chopped out to center, pass foot.
Chris, you talked about that 12-pound advantage. How about the advantage this line has, trying to get the puck deep and using their size?
Shanahan 215, Lindros 230, Primo 210. And the Slovaks with only 2 200-pounders amongst their forwards. Here's Damfusss swinging away, and Lindros on the move. Dejardin is with them. Puck sliding behind Lindros, cleared to the line, off the skate of Dejardin. Hopping on it is Bondra. He scored a beauty last night against the Russians, but can't break in. Palffy forechecking against Niedermeyer. We've passed the 7-minute mark of this first period, and Gretzky's upended. Play will continue. And now the Canadian fans upset with Mark Fossetт. Peter Bondra handed it away, and it just hopped over the stick of Gretzky. Niedermeyer sends it ahead. Gretzky back in with Damfusss. Damfusss off the end boards, taken out by Bacha. It'll be kept in by Cote. Trevor Linden has it along the boards. Watched by Palffy, and now Bacha sends it ahead, and here's a break. Over the line, it's Palffy dropping it. There's a shot, and Curtis Joseph with a dandy off stumble. Gretzky on the counterattack for Canada. It's wide open. Trevor Linden turns. Graves is in front. The pass picked off, and a lead pass just too far for Palffy, who would have had a breakaway. Instead, it's offside. So wide open. Scoreless action in the World Cup of Hockey.
Keith Primo has been the most consistent forward for the Canadian team. Great scoring chance, but he's had no luck around the net. Here's a little chip-in try. Roman Mega makes the save. And at the other end, Palffy drops it back for Joseph Stumple. Stumple takes a shot. What a great save by Curtis Joseph.
From the face-off, that shot by Coffey didn't get through. Kept in at the line. Foot took a hit. He went down. The Canadians wary of the fact that the Slovaks will leave men high, and they'll often counter with 2-on-1s or breakaways. We saw a lot of that against Russia and in the pre-tournament game against Canada.
And how many NHL teams would like a line of Palffy, Bondra, and Stumple? It wouldn't be a bad line on any team. The Canadian defensive pairing, Sylvain Cote is in, Rob Blake is out. Adam Foote had a good physical game against the U.S. team. Keith Primo with that good scoring chance had his bell rung. Steve Yzerman in, Brendan Shanahan is back, and Claude Lemieux, there was some doubt whether he'd play. His nose mangled yesterday in that altercation with Keith Hashchak, but he's all right, he's back out there.
And Steve Yzerman is on the ice with Sackick and Fleury, seeing his first action at this level since the '84 Canada Cup, and it's fitting. It's in his hometown of Ottawa. Dejardin sends it in, and Yzerman will pick up the forecheck. Puck cleared past Fleury. Now Yzerman behind the net trying to center it, and Coffey couldn't reach it. Back the other way from the Slovaks, that's Seeger. Seeger with Kolnik dropping it to the point. Varholek shot, and it's underneath Joseph. We've played 9 minutes, 11 seconds of the first period. Still no score.
NHL players off this Slovak team. Peter Bondra of Washington, everybody knows what he's done. Over 50 goals, 34 goals in a 47-game season. Zygmunt Palffy's having contract problems. He had 43 goals. Zdeno Seeger is going to stay over in Slovakia. He's not going to sign with the Oilers, although he's had a lucrative offer.
Glenn Sather had words with Seeger before the game. There's a quick shot right on Joseph, and he'll pounce on it and hold on. And I don't think Glenn Sather feels it's a done deal yet. That might be one of those European contracts signed in pencil, and he's still working on it.
With the big out clause, and Pavel Demitra only played 7 games for Ottawa last year. Glenn Sather's had some problems. Doug Weight has played exceptionally well for Team USA. He hasn't signed. Jason Arnott, the big guns for the Oilers, waiting for that last-minute contract.
Still no score in this high-tempo first period between these two teams. Sylvain Cote, the late addition to the Team Canada defense with the virus that sent Al McInnes home. Eric Lindros on the move. He's cut off, but Primo follows up. Shanahan parked in front. And coming away with the puck is the Ottawa Senators' Pavel Demitra. He fires it in. That doesn't get through. And back out at center. Lindros looking for it in his skates. And here's Jurgis Thatcha. Played 10 games a few years back with the Hartford Whalers. Stevens around the boards. It'll be kept in, and now ricochets off Lindros out to center. Back in comes Demitra. He was spun down. And Foot takes over. Paired with Paul Coffey, and that was the best defensive pairing for the Canadians last night. Coffey rolling it in. Thatcha. In along the boards. Gretzky centers in front. And the shot was stopped by Mega as Trevor Linden was robbed. And now a penalty coming up as the Slovaks go on the offensive. Here is Ribovic in front. Joseph down. And the puck ruled by the net. And the first penalty to Team Canada being assessed by Mark Fossett.
Cross-checking penalty against Vinny Damfuss after that great chance by Trevor Linden. So far, Roman Mega has impressed me. He's cut down the angles well on those shots in the slot. There's been a couple of great scoring chances against Roman Mega, and he's come out, cut down the angle. He's a little goaltender, and he's going to have to do that, try and fill up more of the net. There's Mega looking around, and there's the penalty. Vincent Damfuss knocks down the defenseman in front, takes a cross-checking penalty.
Canada has killed off 8 of 9 penalties in the tournament.
Number 25, Vincent Damfuss, 2 minutes for cross-checking at 10:45.
There's Mark Fossett talking to both benches.
I don't know if that was a comment on the penalty call, but it looked like Fossett got some water as he went by the Canadian bench.
The ice looks pretty good. It's been a beautiful day here in Ottawa, very warm, but the ice looks hard and fast.
And that wasn't the case last night at the new Core State Center. And immediately, Canada's Adam Graves sends it the length of the ice. The Slovaks 1 for 5 in the game against Russia on the power play. The Russians did them in by going 3 for 5 against the Slovakian penalty killing unit. And once again, it's sent down the ice. Messier goes after it. Mega had trouble with it, with Messier moving in. Didn't drop kick it, but almost dropped it into Messier's skates.
There's Mega looking up, and his defenseman comes back, gives him a little tap on the pads. Mark Messier coming in, and Mega looked up before he stopped the puck. Went to shoot it before he had it. Mega's looking for the play, and then he fans on it, and does the smart thing after he fanned on it, takes the whistle.
Well, when we talked to Joseph Golonka, the coach of Slovakia this morning, he was kind of lamenting the fact his team doesn't have a goalie of the stature of Zarilla, who was a big star in 1976 in the Canada Cup. Roman Mega is in the firing line in his first international game here in the World Cup. Was expected to be the backup to Jaromir Dragin, who performed so poorly in their opening game yesterday in Montreal. There's a shot from the point. Joseph got a piece of that. Niedermeyer trying to push it ahead. Now it's sent to the line, and it gets out. Varholek dropping it back, and 32-year-old Otto Hashchak to Kolnik, who clears it in. Niedermeyer with a chance to get it out again, and there's Varholek at center. Under 8 minutes to go in this first period, and we're still scoreless. Here you see the time left in the penalty. The score clock here not functioning, so the sellout crowd here in Ottawa unaware of the time remaining. A pass back to the point goes by everybody and back down the ice.
Joseph Golonka talking about his special teams, their problems, and he said throwing the team together and the difference in talent level. The NHL guy is so much better than the rest of his crew. It's hard to get a good power play out there.
That was Baccia from his own side of center, but Slovaks got to the puck first and maintained possession. Here's a shot, doesn't get through. And Canada will turn. Here's Damfusss out of the penalty box and Mega out of the goal crease to freeze the puck as Švehla and Damfusss tangle at the side of the net. 7:01 to play, first period at the Corel Center in Ottawa.
Steve Aiserman getting a chance to play and adding some fire to this Team Canada lineup. He was so anxious to play. It was exciting. It was like he was a kid again, back playing his first NHL game.
After Wayne Gretzky, he has more points in a Canadian uniform than any other player that is on Team Canada at the international level. He has played so many world championships. And after missing 87 and 91, the bitter disappointment, he is back and trying to play through a knee strain. But that's not new to Steve Eiserman's career. There was some question that he might have to be dropped again because of the knee problems, but he assured Glenn Sather that it was something that was in his control.
With great prices and Canadian Tire money, you won't just save, you'll score. Canadian Tire, everyday low prices made better.
Talked about players being excited about playing in this tournament. How about Wayne Gretzky after he scored the third goal yesterday? Did he not look like a kid getting his first NHL goal? Got the team back in it, even though Brett Hull did get an empty netter to ice it away.
Asked Mark Crawford this morning about the players that have impressed him that he's never been involved with before, and maybe not unexpectedly, Wayne Gretzky came to the top of the list. Just the excitement he brings to the rink in these situations. Here's Primo giving chase and getting to the puck first for Canada. His pass broken up, and Rybovich will start back with that flowing mane. Send it into the Canada zone. Around the boards, and Brendan Shanahan is back. Canada sending it ahead, and here's the smooth skating Paul Coffey ahead to Lindros. Flipping it into the corner. After it is Aiserman. Steve Aiserman in the corner. Still fighting for it. Shanahan along the boards. Great there by Kolnik, and the puck comes loose for the Slovaks. Off the boards and back down into the Canadian zone, and this is icing against Slovakia.
Eric Lindros trying to give his team a spark with his physical play. Had Lubomir Rybovich lined up. But you have to watch the Europeans. When they see the hit coming, a lot of times they'll duck. And here's Rybovich. He sees the hit coming. Now look at this. He gets down as low as he can, and Lindros has to watch out that he doesn't go over top and himself go crashing into the boards.
T.Fleury on the draw for Canada, but it comes to Dropa, property of the Chicago Blackhawks. And one of their best defensemen in the game yesterday against Russia. It's Dropa number 3, who's also the biggest defenseman on the blue line. And here's a break. Coming in is Hashchak, and Joseph down to make the stop off the veteran Otto Hashchak.
Another great save by Curtis Joseph. He hasn't been that busy, but the chances against, we talked about the Slovaks' ability to create good scoring chances. Here's another one, Otto Hashchak. He's in by himself. He head up all the way. Joseph waits, and then Hashchak's got nothing to shoot at. He's 32 years old, but you talk to the coaching staff and say, who's the best player not in the NHL? And they all say it's this guy. But he is 32, and there won't be many NHL teams interested.
Joseph has surprisingly been as busy as Mega at the other end so far. And we're still scoreless with under 5 minutes to play in the first period. Adam Graves went after it, but back the other way is Richard Sednick, 20 years of age. He sends it across. Here's Dimitra without the helmet. That was broken up by Niedermeyer. And Canada starts back off the stick of Lemieux ahead to Messier. Here's Mark Messier moving in. turned it back and handed it to young Zednik, who's played with the Portland Winterhawks. Rolls it into the Canada zone. Scott Stevens up at center. Gretzky with a nifty pass to Lemieux. And Canada on the attack. Damfusss kicked aside by Mega. In behind the net. Puck still loose. Jammed out Gretzky. Rebound. Gretzky can't reach it. As Canada comes close, Damfusss and Gretzky, and they draw the penalty against Slovakia. So when we come back to the Corel Center, Team Canada on the power play.
Miroslav Shatan takes a tripping penalty on Wayne Gretzky, and this was an iffy one. Shatan's from behind, Gretzky's on the way down. There's the trip. Good call by Mark Fossettt. I thought Gretzky took a dive, but when I see the replay, it wasn't. 15:53 the time of that tripping penalty against Shatan.
Lindros, Damfusss, Gretzky up front for Canada. Puck flipped over the glass, and Gretzky pointing out to Mark Fossettt off the stick of a Slovak player.
Mark Fossettt looked over at Scott Driscoll and got some help from his linesman. Face off deep in the Slovak zone. We haven't seen that emotional drive and intensity. We hate to use that intensity word all the time, but Team Canada hasn't played like ugly Canadians that you would like to see them play against a team that they could dominate physically. They haven't taken the body on this Slovak team like I thought they would.
Conn Smythe Trophy winner Joe Sackick parked behind Lindros, who wins control of the puck from the faceoff. Center, Damfusss whipped it wide. Coffey to Gretzky. Back to Coffey, Gretzky, and the shot was blocked by Bacha on the nifty setup by Paul Coffey.
Jurgis Bacha was highly thought of by Hartford, but he doesn't skate very well. He's a smart defenseman there, a good smart play getting in front of Gretzky.
Back in comes Team Canada. Lindros crashing down with Švehla, and again, the Slovaks get it to center. 45 seconds gone in the power play. Bondra knocks it free. And again, sent down the ice by Hashchuk. Canada changes its power play a minute in. Coffey ahead to Fleury on the right side. There's T.Fleury. And he's checked. Barhalik gets it ahead, kept in Dejardin. Out in front of the net. Messier retreats. Hashchuk there again, and it ricocheted off the veteran Slovak forward out to center. The fans getting a little anxious here as Niedermayer and Fleury crash in there. In behind the net is Messier. Back it comes. Niedermayer shot right on. Big rebound comes out for Shanahan. T.Fleury in the corner, had it hop over his stick. Messier in there, and he runs into Hashchuk. Otto Hashchuk went down. Now Messier pulled down, no call. Dejardin keeps it in. Back to Messier. 5 seconds left in the power play. There's the shot right on. Mega down, and Niedermayer couldn't tame the bouncing puck. Slovakia back at full strength as Ribovic can't get it out. At the line, it's finally poked ahead, and Kolnik got it out. Now Fleury dumping it back in, under 2 minutes to go in the first period, and it's still scoreless. Canada and Slovakia. Sent out to center, and here's Miroslav Shatan. Shatan, the Edmonton Oiler, over the line. And hit by Cote, and Canada turns back. Lemieux to Trevor Linden, trying to get around Švehla. And Švehla knocks down Claude Lemieux, who was sandwiched on the play. The Florida Panther defenseman gets it ahead. Now Pavel Dimitrov dancing across the Canadian line. Dimitrov shot off Cote wide. Dimitrov in behind the net. Bacha had moved up but didn't get the pass. Behind the goal, Zednik is hit. This line for Slovakia, 20-year-old and two 21-year-olds. And now into the final minute of the first period. Sylvain Cote and Scott Stevens paired here. And now Team Canada moves ahead. Trevor Linden backhands it deep, and he'll go to the Canada bench. Foot can't keep it in. And now turning it back in is Eric Lindros. Big shot. Mega got his pad on that. Lindros bumping. Mega centered in front. And Primo just failed to put it in. Back the other way comes Palfi and Bondra. Peter Bondra, who's had a quiet first period. In behind the net, stole it, trying to center it out in front, and Foot is there. Into the final 10 seconds, and Coffee played it off the boards, turned over, Stumple shooting it just wide. Around it goes and fired down the ice on Mega, and that will do it for the first period at the Corel Center.
One of the killers for Team Slovakia yesterday was they gave up a goal with 2 seconds left against the Russians. They almost did the same thing here in the last 30 seconds. Keith Primo with another great scoring chance. A turnover by the goaltender. Eric Lindros has the original chance. Mega makes the save, goes out to handle it, and then gives it away. Lindros is in quickly. Primo is out in front, but he can't make contact. Goaltender gets back, gets his stick on it, and Primo's there and just can't bank it towards the empty net.
A couple of close calls for Keith Primo in that first period, and I would think Joseph Galanka, who was welcome back to the Corel Center in Ottawa, ready for the second period between Canada and Slovakia. And a scoreless tie so far. Canada starting with the big line of Lindros, Shanahan, and Primo against Palfi, Stumple, and Bondra. And again, Mega a little unorthodox as he freezes the puck. Moments ago, Ron McLean was outside the Team Canada dressing room.
Here's Mark Crawford. Mark, your thoughts on the first period?
Oh, I thought that our club had success when we got the puck in deep. We really tried to work the Slovakian defense. That's where our strength is. We got some big, strong forwards down in deep, so we've got to make good decisions coming into their end, get it in deep, and then take the puck to the net with some authority.
Use that size advantage that they've got on the ice right now with Lindros, Shanahan, and Primo, but it's Bondra up with it. For Slovakia, Stumple lost control of it. Palfi knocks it in that first period. Neither Palfi or Bondra had a shot on goal. Those two combining for 95 goals last year in the NHL. Palfi did set up Stumple on one good scoring chance. Here's Lindros over the line. Eric Lindros trying to power his way in front and knocked down with Shanahan. It's centered, and it comes all the way out to Bondra. At center ice, it's Stumple of the Bruins putting it over to Palfi, and his shot went wide. Around the boards it comes, and Gretzky's on the ice. Brendan Shanahan to the line. Nice pass back to Gretzky, moving in. Gretzky circles the net, centers it, and it's by everybody and back down the ice.
Vincent Damfusss, and as Mark Crawford said, going hard to the net. Damfusss right in the net. Gretzky couldn't hit him.
Scott Stevens over center, pounding it in. There's Damfusss behind the net. Gretzky quickly out in front. And nobody there for Team Canada. Stevens at the line. Gets it to Linden. In the slot, Damfusss quickly in front. Gretzky upended Dropa. And play will continue. Ivan Dropa out on the left wing. Pass went off. Seeger, who gives chase. Getting back there first is Cote. Scott Stevens plays it against the flow, and Linden will go over and get it. Here's Trevor Linden, checked on the play. Seeger has the puck, beating it back across. Otto Hashchak in for Kolnik, couldn't get loose. Hashchak almost had it again. Does come up with it. Tried to ring the boards, and Joseph cut it off. Pitching in on the play, the Slovakian defenseman Buknov. And Cote will try to get it out. Goes past Linden the length of the ice. Mega will play it. Adam Graves goes after it, and there's Messier. Mark Messier sweeps it in behind the net. Adam Foote had moved up to keep it alive for Canada. Graves has his man tied up. Claude Lemieux is up with it. Here's Lemieux on his backhand. Getting it back to Coffee. The flip shot didn't get by Hashchak, and out comes Slovakia 2-on-1. Shatan over the line. Nice move. And Foote was able to impede the shot. Here's Graves sending it out to Lemieux. Long shot on Mega. Not sure where it is, but his defenseman gathers it up and sends it ahead. Niedermeyer broke that up for Team Canada. The Canadians turn, led by Fleury. Here's T.Fleury over the line. And he's not able to get a shot on goal. Slovakians start back. Shatan will fire it in deep. Here's Dejardin for Team Canada. Around the boards, kept in by Švehla. Here's Shatan, can't get a shot away. And it's pushed ahead by Niedermeyer. Joe Sackick checked at the line, following in. It's called on the offside. Just nicely underway. The second period from the Corel Center. Atlanta and Canada going to work on gold here at the World Cup.
People here in Ottawa were asked to dress in Canadian colors. That's why Glenn Roy Gilbert has the sweatsuit on. But there's Roman Mega making the save. The first time he's looked doubtful all night was the last shift when Claude Lemieux had that long shot. And he looked behind him. He had some problems. But other than that, he's been very solid. Good angles, goaltender. Can't handle the puck much. Takes a lot of whistles. But so far, the Slovaks have been able to win at least their own fair share of the faceoffs. Here's Mega again, out top of the circles, good position, makes the save and hangs on.
So you're saying he's playing bigger than his stature?
He is.
5'9", 160? Or
he's playing like Mike Vernon, who is just about the same size.
In his first international game. Here's Stumple hitting the line. Bondra streaking on right wing. It comes to Palffy, who was following up. And that puck deflects into the crowd. And Canada can finish first, second, third, or fourth in this North American pool. A lot will ride on the game tomorrow between Russia and the United States. Bob Cole, Harry Neal, Scott Russell are ready for that one. 7 o'clock at Madison Square Garden. John Garrett will be on hand for that as well. Canada can still finish first if they win here on goal differential, coupled with a Russian win over the United States tomorrow night. Here's Sackick trying to thread it through. Couldn't beat Švehla with the pass. Sackick gets it back again. Švehla watching him. And now Bondra can't get it up. Fleury dumped at the line. Cote goes after it. Sylvain Cote, Sackick behind the net. Aiserman in front. Here's Stevens shooting right off the goal post. Best chance of the second period for Canada. Aiserman, Stevens again! And this time Mega got a piece of that shot. So Canada hitting the defenseman moving in on the attack, but now it's Slovakia and Palffy on the backhand, centered it, and Sackick comes back defensively. Vincent Damfusс on the move on right wing. Gretzky hopped over the boards to join the rush, but the puck ends up in the Team Canada bench. So Canada comes close, but Mega standing tall.
It's true that
Roman Mega, no chance. He's looking the wrong way. Scott Stevens comes in off the crossbar. No luck around the net for Scott Stevens.
Looks like Mega got a piece of that off the glove and then off the bar. And Canada with two good chances in that last shift for Scott Stevens, but still scoreless. And we're 5:40 into the second period. Here's a shot in front, ricocheted, desperately cleared to the line. Coffee on, Damfusss scores!
Talking to Ron McLean, saying go hard to the net. Watch Vinny Damfusss going to the net. The shot from Coffee comes through. Damfusss circles around behind the net, comes out in front, gets the rebound, and stuffs it up and over Roman Mega. Chris, you've been talking about that goal differential. They have to start pumping some by the Slovak goaltender. Damfusss goes to the net, gets the rebound, and just chips it up and over the goaltender.
So Vincent Damfusss has his second goal of the tournament. Coffee and Linden the assists on the goal at 5:49 of the second period. And let's see how that swings the momentum of this tightly played game so far.
Scored by number 25, Faisal Dam.
Adam Foote back into his own zone, hit against the boards. Puck centered in front, Coffee there. Here on the backhand. A chance for the Slovaks, and it's finally cleared by Coffee off the stick of Pavel Dimitra. Robert Švehla back in his own zone, pushing it ahead. It's kept in by Eric Lindros. Lemieux shooting, and a nice toe stop by Mega. Lindros has the rebound. It's Dropa hanging on as Lindros is knocked to the ice. At the point for Niedermayer, bouncing it back in wide. Lindros, as the Canadians now turn up the heat. Lemieux can't handle it, and the Slovaks get it out, and a near breakaway for Zednik. Joseph will play it off to the corner. Now Shatan keeps it in. Here's Dimitra walking in, Joseph, and the rebound knocked to the line, and out by Shanahan. So the Slovak bouncing right back with an opportunity to score. But Team Canada has the lead on Vincent Damfuss's goal. And now Shanahan moving in and called on the offside as Lindros was trapped inside the line on the far side.
Smart plays on the Damfuss goal. Damfuss going to the net, but what a shot by Paul Coffey. It's not how hard, but you have to get the shot through. The little snapshot by Coffey gets through, and Damfuss goes to the net, takes his time, and flips it up and over Mega.
Joe Sakic's on the ice with Айзерман and Fleury. Holland up the boards, kept in. Sackick couldn't find it in his skates. Sent right back in by Stevens. Here's Sackick forechecking against Švehla. That's a matchup from last year's Stanley Cup final. And the Slovaks just send it down the ice, racing toward his Cote, and he'll get there to get the icing call.
Canadian Tire has great prices on everything you need. Plus, earn Canadian Tire money with every cash purchase of merchandise. Canadian Tire. Everyday low prices made better.
Well, you mentioned differential, and I think Canada has to be thinking about that in the back of their mind if they want to finish first. But the coaching staff said that wasn't anything addressed in the pre-game to his team. Just worry about winning and doing the things Mark Crawford talked about. There is some discussion as Foot shoots it in, and Mega down, didn't know where it was, and falls back on it. There is some question, though, whether or not Canada wouldn't prefer to finish second and not get the 7 or 8 day layoff.
It's a long time to be off. We saw Team USA, how flat they were in the first period last night. Here's a shot come through. Mega didn't know where it was. It squeaked through his pads, but he's able to fall down and cover it up.
Play whistle down at center ice, and a penalty is being assessed.
Paul Coffey is going off, and I don't know what signal that was Mark Fossetт gave us.
But the Slovaks down by a goal. Get another chance on the power play.
There's Paul Coffey on Zygmunt Palffy, the hook from behind. And a good call again by Mark Fossetт.
Stumpled, Boндра, Palffy up front. Švehla and Macha on defense, and Macha had the power play goal for the Slovaks in their 7-4 loss to Russia yesterday in Montreal. That's Jurgis Macha, cross ice pass, Stumple missed it. Palffy taken to the boards by Graves. Well, Dejardin has a chance to work it off the boards down the ice. First half minute of Coffey's minor is gone. 1-0 Team Canada on the goal by Vincent Damfuss. Slovakia looking for the equalizer on this power play as Palffy got it behind the net. Boндра. Here's Macha at the point off the skate of Boндra, and it's hooked ahead by Linden. Trevor Linden and Vincent Damfuss are the penalty killers. Here's Švehla. Robert Švehla with 34 power play points for Florida, and the shot scores! Peter Boндra! as Švehla set up Bondra for the tying goal.
And a power play goal, 54 seconds left in the penalty to Paul Coffey, and a goal scorer's goal. Able to control an aerial pass, the puck is bouncing, and Peter Bondra is still able to keep it on his stick. It's bouncing, it's up in the air, and he's still able to snap it through Curtis Joseph. Here's Bondra starts to play, and this pass is not a good pass. It's bouncing, it's still hopping, it's on edge. Hard for Curtis Joseph to read. Bondra able to bang it home.
52 goals in 67 games. Last year for the Washington Capitals, Švehla gets the lone assist. And it's 1-1, and when we talked to Peter Bondra this morning as the captain, he is the leader of this team. And we asked what advice he might have for the younger players who have not played at this level before, and he said, make sure we don't hang our head and start to quit when we fall behind. They keep playing hard, and they fall behind 1-0, and Bondra gets them right back on even terms at 9:12. So less than 4 minutes after the goal by Canada, the Slovaks have tied it, and here they come again, a shot going wide. Canada turning it up at center ice. Brendan Shanahan with Lindros over the line. Lindros taken to the boards, Primo in behind the net. He's being watched there by Buknov. Scrum behind the net, and out with it is a breakaway pass, and this is Kolnik. Kolnik coming in, and Joseph got a piece of that. And we've seen that in this game and in the tournament. The Slovaks able to poach and get those breaks. Here's a quick shot. Great stop by Joseph.
A giveaway by Scott Stevens, and Curtis Joseph bailed him out.
Shanahan dumps it in, and Canada will change. We've passed the midway point of this second period. And it's a 1-1 tie. There's a big collision at center ice as Adam Foote stepped into Zednik. Slovakia sending it in. And now Damfusss plays it for Foote around the boards. Linden on right wing. Coffey jumps up. Here's Coffey to the line with Gretzky trying to barge through. Loose puck. And Dimitrov sends it back out to center. 9 minutes left, second period. Damfusss for Team Canada. And Peter Bondra for Slovakia. Here's Gretzky to Damfusss. The drop pass onto the stick of Shatan. Coffey backhanding it in, and Gretzky trying to skate under it. He centers it out in front, chipped away. And turning with it is Shatan. To the line, can't get by Niedermayer. Following up is Dimitrov. And that pass broken up. Here comes Claude Lemieux with Messier. A couple of former Conn Smythe Trophy winners on the attack for Canada. Messier has it, trying to center it, and he can't keep it in. He'll have to regroup at center. Canada has outshot Slovakia 18-12. Over the line, a quick shot by Lemieux. Curtis Joseph leaving the net as play whistled down. And we've got a penalty coming up with 8:05 to go in this second period.
Peter Bondra is lapping with Mark Fossetт. Team Slovakia had too many men on the ice. Curtis Joseph saw it. He was halfway out to the blue line. Kevin Collins saw it. Joseph Golonka doesn't agree with it, but his team is going to play short-handed.
There won't be much of an argument because Mr. Golonka does not speak English. And the youngster Richard Zednik of the Portland Winterhawks will serve the penalty. Actually, formerly of the Winterhawks, a draft choice of Washington, and he played one game with the Capitals at the conclusion of the regular season. And Team Canada now looking for a go-ahead goal on the power play. Gretzky parked behind the net. Aiserman goes to the net, and that shot deflecting wide. Now Aiserman behind the goal. Gretzky peels off. Lindros finds some space. Quick shot. Vega kicked it out. Coffey and Sackick at the points. There's Coffey. And the puck batted off the glove of Bondra out to center. Joe Sackick will lead Team Canada in. Lindros on the left wing, bodied by Stumple. And Айзерман works it free. Steve Yzerman shooting. Mega was coming off the post and came back across. Took a stick from Lindros, but holds on.
Mega was looking for the pass over to Wayne Gretzky. He saw Gretzky at the other side. Ayzerman changed his mind. Tried to go back against the grain. Wayne Gretzky sets up Ayzerman earlier. Here's the pass out. Ayzerman can't get the shot through. Some good coverage by Robert Švehla. And here's the second chance by Ayzerman. Good work in the corner. Fights off his check. The pick by Eric Lindros. He looks at Gretzky. He's trying to get the puck over. Botches there. Gets it to his goaltender.
66 seconds remaining in the power play for Team Canada. And Messier gets set to take the face-off. Up against Hashchuk. And Canada wins the draw. Dejardin, his shot bouncing in front. Make it down. And Messier couldn't get it over the prone goaltender.
Mega went down early, but Jan Varhalik, look at it, right? Varhalik came back. Messier had to wait for the goaltender to go down. Messier's at the side of the net. Varhalik comes back. Messier waits for the goaltender. Varhalik just gets a stick on it. Mega's able to cover up the rebound. Messier is wide open, but he can't control the puck. He waits for the goaltender to go down, and Varhalik has time to recover and tip it to his goaltender. Messier didn't play much in the first period, special teams only. He's played more here in the second, out with 56 seconds left in this power play.
Shanahan and Fleury have joined him now. Hashchuk ready for this face-off against Messier. And again, Canada controls off the draw. T.Fleury looking to set it up, flips it through, and Shanahan was standing on the doorstep. Mega didn't give up a rebound.
Mega's been pretty good controlling the rebounds. That one, a little shot by Fleury. He was looking for a rebound for Shanahan. Fleury cuts to the middle of the ice, trying to get a screen. Shanahan backs off the screen, goes for the tip-in or the rebound. Neither there.
Well, Brendan Shanahan had a couple of goals in that pre-tournament game against Slovakia.
Back from his one-game suspension.
Messier, another face-off win with 45 seconds left in this power play. Shanahan along the boards, got it back to Dejardin. Niedermayer, one-timer on the blast. Went wide. Fleury up with it. Fleury being watched by Kolnick. Dejardin. Niedermayer, checked by Seeger, got it back again. In behind the net and swept around the boards. And down the ice. 15 seconds left in the penalty as Canada goes to the attack. Messier over the line. Fleury with room, shoots it right on. And the rebound bounced over Seeger's stick, kept in by Shanahan. There's a weak pass that gets to Fleury in front. Niedermayer off the side of the net as the penalty is expired. Shanahan, quick shot off Mega. Niedermayer moved in and just missed. Now Messier warding off a check. Fleury in the corner. Shanahan, bounced by Švehla. Messier crashing in there. Seeger, hit hard by Fleury. And Fleury trying to come up with the puck. Finally it comes loose and it's Kolnik getting it down the ice for the Slovaks. That's Zednik out of the penalty box. Richard Zednik against Niedermayer, and Niedermayer takes him out. Shatan knocked down by Dejardin. Niedermayer can't come up with it. There's a loose puck in front. Dimitra looks for it. And finally Canada comes free. Here's Gretzky to the line, and he's checked by Dropa. Damfuss followed up. And that was a delayed offside. Dropa with it, plays it off the glass and back out. Under 5 minutes to go, second period, still tied at 1. Here's Gretzky shooting, and that hit the goal post. Gretzky hit the outside of the post. looking for the go-ahead goal. Still 1-1. Lead pass cut off by Dropa. And now Shatan's on the move. Here's Shatan with Dimitra. Following up, a shot goes wide off the stick of Shatan. Down the boards for Scott Stevens. He sends it out through center and down the ice. And Ribovic will turn with it. Here's Ribovic. Handing it off to Bacho. Tried to one-hand it and lost it to Sackick. Sackick over the line. Aiserman after it in the corner. Sackick looking for it. It's cleared ahead. Tipped in by Stevens. Kicked out by Mega. There's a shot back in by Fleury. Aiserman behind the net to Sackick. Fleury parked in front. Here's Joe Sackick in front. And Mega went down. Aiserman along the boards. This Sackick behind the net. Stevens moving up. And Canada now starting to exert more pressure in the zone. Sackick at the line. Gets it to Cote. Looking to center it. Hit Bacha. Back to Sackick. Shatan knocked him off stride. Sackick got it again. And now the Slovaks get it out to center.
And when they do get it out to center, they always have somebody circling around waiting for a breakaway.
Good shift there by Sackick, Fleury, and Aiserman. Here's a breakaway pass for Palfi. Too far, and Joseph clears it around. Lindros tries the far side. And back for Coffee. Up to Keith Primo, knocked off his stick. And Brendan Shanahan turns at his own line. He's checked by Stumple. Cleared ahead by Palfi. Bondra couldn't catch up with it. Under 3 minutes to go in the second period. A 1-1 tie. And suddenly, goal differential doesn't seem that important. Shanahan at his own line. He's gloved down by Stale. He was chopped down and cleared it back in. On the move is Adam Foote. Looking it into the Slovak zone. Stale plays it around. There's Adam Graves with it. Here's Dejardin moving in, trying to center it for Lemieux. That was broken up, and starting back is Zygmunt Palfi. Palfi over the line, looked across, and that one just knocked off the stick of Hashchak. Sent back in by Buchnock. Cleared to Joseph, who steered it aside. Hashchak and Kolnik working for Slovakia in the Canadian zone. Kolnik trying to center it. It comes to Hashchak. Hashchak can't get a shot away. And it's rolled to center by Team Canada with under 2 minutes to play in the second period. Now the Slovakians back on the attack. This is Pollock centering it in front. On the line, they score! And Slovakia has taken the lead on a goal by Lubomir Kolnik.
That shot went up off Curtis Joseph and hit the top of the net inside the webbing. Kolnik went to the front of the net. Shots on goal were 26-11 at this point. The Slovaks throw it out. Kolnik's there. It's off Joseph. It's up. It's in. Drops down. Joseph tries to cover it up, but that one's in already. Kolnik does his best NHL goal celebration dance. Better look at it from our net cam. It's up, it's in, just behind the post. Back out over the line, and that's a great shot from the net cam off the webbing and in.
Now there will be video replay, but that net cam replay showed that it did hit the net in behind the red line and came out. Kolnik, a 1990 draft choice of the New Jersey Devils, fitting in that it's like Slovakia has been playing that New Jersey Devil hockey in this game. Just as Igor Larionov commented after the game yesterday in Montreal, and now Canada is behind 2-1 late in the second period. Kolnik the goal, Varholak the assist. It's 2-1 Slovakia.
Varholak goes wide on Eric Dejardin, and Kolnik goes to the net. He just off the skate tips it up. It hits Joseph, goes in behind the post, hits the webbing, comes down outside the line, but video replay clearly showed it was in.
Red light a little slow to come on, but no question A legal goal and a 2-1 lead for Slovakia. Minute 15 to go in this second period as Peter Boндра sweeps it into the Canadian zone. Zygmunt Palffy after it. In behind the net, Scott Stevens for Canada. Up ahead to Gretzky. He rolls it in on the right side. Under a minute to go in this second period at the Corel Center. And it's a quiet building right now since the goal by Kolnik. Here's a shot by Stevens, and that went through traffic just wide. Cote, in behind the net is Gretzky. Centering it out in front, loose puck, Damfusss fighting for it. He'll go to the boards. Trying to get it back in behind the net for Gretzky, and Bacha was there. Deflected out by the Slovaks. And we now have a half minute to go in the second period. At the line, Damfusss hops in with Linden and Gretzky. Off the stick of Gretzky and cleared down the ice. Coffey racing back to get it on the icing call with 17.3 seconds left in the second period.
Paul Coffey showing good speed to go back and get that puck and give his team some time in the offensive zone. He didn't lazily go back to get that icing, hustled back, saved a few seconds for his team to operate.
Well, this is why they didn't want to be caught up in the differential game here tonight. That shouldn't have been the focus, and clearly now the focus is much different. Winning the hockey game, very much going to be a battle against these Slovaks. Here's Sacik, side of the net, and Mega has it covered on the short side. Remember Ron McLean off the top. Slovakia has never lost to Team Canada. And Andy Murray on the coaching staff was with the national team when Slovakia played its first ever game as an independent nation at the World Championships in '96, and that was a 3-3 tie in Vienna. 8 seconds to go in the period. Lindros on this face-off against Hashchak, who's been waved out. So Kolnik, who has the go-ahead goal, moves in. The draw comes out in front. Played by Bacha off the boards. They won't make the similar mistake in the late stages of the second period here as they did against the Russians. And in this game, Slovakia will head to the dressing room with the lead. Kolnik the goal. And after 40 minutes in Ottawa, it's 2-1 Slovakia. Not sure about the Sunday before Labor Day. 2-1 Slovakia takes the lead into the third period. John, when Canada left the ice after 40 minutes, they heard more than their share of boos. Always seems that Canada has to face some adversity.
Pat Burns made a good point about the leadership, the players' leadership. You don't need the coaches to come in and rant and rave. I'm sure Mark Messier had a few words for the troops.
Here's Bacha dropping it off. Palffy moving in the shot, and that hits somebody in front. Boндra taken to the boards by Lindros. Palffy trying to dig it free, and it comes to Shanahan. Out to Niedermeyer at center ice, and he'll roll it into the Slovakian zone as the Canadians, with a short shift to start, 45 seconds into the game, they'll change it up. There's a loose puck at the line, off Linden and back in. And Otto Hashchak, who assisted on the go-ahead goal, has it for Slovakia, out to center, and Sylvain Cote is there. He's chased back by Zdeno Seeger. At the line, clubbed by Varhalik, and that glove pass.
That was their third breakaway that they've given up so far in this game.
And we have the scoring chances at 16-8 in favor of Canada. 2-1 advantage. Curtis Joseph knocking that one down. It comes out to Kolnik, who plays it off the boards, and Cote takes over. But Roman Mega has had a hot hand in his international debut. Here's Gretzky on the move. Gretzky feeds it across. Stevens moving up. It comes to Gretzky, the backhand. Mega sprawling. That would have hit the side of the net. Fired around, kept in by Stevens. Out in front, Damfusss with the deflection, and it was swept from the goal mouth the length of the ice. And icing the call against Slovakia.
Wayne Gretzky, who with the spin-around backhand almost had Roman Mega beaten. The shot, as you said, Chris, would have hit the side of the net, but Vincent Damfuss's chance just about trickled in. Scott Stevens has a shot. Gretzky's off balance. He's going away. The shot would have gone wide, but Mega makes the save anyway. And here's a Damfusss deflection. That would have gone in. That would have caught the post. But Mega's defenseman came back, cleared the paint. Here's another look at it. Damfusss just tips it by the goaltender. And that's just cleared.
Here's a chance for Fleury. Rebound, scores! T.Fleury has tied it.
And here's a little pushing and shoving after the goal. And in comes Adam Foote. And when you're playing in the World Championships, you don't mind being ugly. You go in, you do this kind of stuff after the whistle. And you don't care so much about what's written about you in the paper or what's said on the radio or on TV. And you play your usual game. Well, Canada has to play that game. They can't be polite. They have to take advantage of a team that they should dominate. T.Fleury is one of the players who can play with so much emotion. Here's the shot by Fleury through the maze of players, driving the net. The third quality scoring chance here in the third period. Fleury gets his own rebound and gets it up and over Roman Mega. And now the Slovaks are trying to slow this down. Fleury followed his own rebound and snapped it up and over the goaltender. And both goals now have been on rebounds where Mega has gone down and the Canadians have got it up and over. And that's tough when you play a goaltender who hasn't played before. You don't have a scouting report.
2:02 the time of the 2-2 goal for Canada. Fleury from Айзерман and Coffee. And T.Fleury's second goal of the tournament has tied the score at 2. Fleury looked like he was getting dangerous in that second period and picked up the momentum here in the third. Lindros, Messier get it in, so Messier is out with Eric Lindros and Brendan Shanahan, who crashes into Varholek. Ribovic trying to get it out, and it's center. Messier will take over. Here comes Coffee on the move. Paul Coffee puts it into the goal mouth. Lindros behind the net. Here's a puck knocked out of midair by Foote. Play continues. The Slovaks thought it should have been called on the high stick, and icing will be called instead. And Mark Fosette's getting an earful from Ivan Dropa.
It was a high stick, but the Slovaks touched the puck first. And that's what Mark Fossett is explaining now to the Slovak bench. He waved it off. Adam Foote did knock it down with a high stick, but the Slovaks touched it first. And now he's explaining it to Peter Boндra. And Joseph Kalanko will get the translation. Team Canada led by Brendan Shanahan here in the third period. Good solid hit on Varholek. And this is the way Team Canada has to play. Get the puck deep, use your advantage inside, use the body.
Steve Айзерман, here comes Slovakia set, Paul Coffey.
Here comes Slovakia out to center ice. We've hit the 3-minute mark as Medrick passes it across. That's picked off by Damfusss, who flips it ahead, and Gretzky's in pursuit. Wayne Gretzky deep in the zone, tried to center it. That hit Mega on the short side. And turning back, rink-wide pass by Palpy, too far. And Gretzky's on the attack again. Wayne Gretzky shooting. That hits the post on the rebound. Ricochet to Damfusss. And the Canadians have regained the momentum in a big way here early in the third period.
And Vincent Damfusss, another good scoring chance. He's had one on both his shifts here in the third period. And Team Canada is all over Team Slovakia. That's their third icing of the period.
3:40 gone, third period, and a 2-2 tie at the Corral Center.
Russia, that was a big win. Overall wins. There can be ties after overtime in the preliminary rounds. Goals for and against is the big one. And Team Canada thought they could pile a lot up here, but now they're just looking for the win. Here's the Gretzky shot. It goes to Damfusss. His shot hits the side of the net just behind the goalpost.
From the face-off, puck in the corner, Fleury jostling with Hashchak back there. They double-team the Slovak forward. Sacking along the far boards, takes his man out, but the Slovaks are up with it, and they skate to center. Here's a 3-on-2 as they hit the line. Seeger's pass broken up by Fleury, who came back. So Cote, watched by Seeger. It comes to Fleury, off the boards and ahead to Айзерман in front of the Team Canada bench. He lost control of it. And now at the line, it's Айзерман picking it up and finding Fleury. With Sacik, nice move by Fleury, moving in, Sacik follows, can't find it, now the shot, and Mega got a piece of that. At center ice, Sacik with the loose puck again, dumps it back in, and Team Canada will change, and the fans right back behind the Canadian team now. Adam Foote back to get it in his own zone, paired with Coffee. Skating out to center. That goes off Dimitra, but Team Canada follows Shanahan, the quick shot. Gets his own rebound, looks to center it, and the Ottawa Senator Dimitra comes up with it. He plays it off the boards ahead to Miroslav Shatan. Shatan with Bacha moving up, shooting, and that may have grazed the post off Curtis Joseph. Shanahan plays it around, Messier far side, got it over the line. There's Zednik with it. Jurgis Batchup plays it up, and scooting after it is the 20-year-old Zednik. Washington Capital property plays it in deep. Dimitra there off the boards. Shatan behind the net now, trying to cycle in front. Shatan, loose puck, and Curtis Joseph is down to get the whistle. We're still tied at 2. Bulk of the draws so far tonight, and Trevor Linden's on the move for Canada. Here's Linden trying to get around Dropa. In behind the net, Damfusss, nice pass out in front. Dropa recovered, and Peter Boндра, pounded by Gretzky, gets it out to center. They're looking for a breakaway pass to Palffy. There's Palffy putting it in front, Boндra there, and it hit Joseph Stumple in front of the net. Dropa out at center ice. Peter Boндra, who has scored for Slovakia in this 2-2 tie, pounds it back in on Joseph. Here's Scott Niedermayer, up to Trevor Linden. Linden fires it around the glass, and Айзерман first man to it. Steve Айзерман off the boards. Tries to feed it back. Fleury off the fence, drills one right on. At the point, there's Cote's shot off the target. And it's Hashchak out at center. Fleury there for Team Canada. Puck played ahead, and Zdeno Seeger, who wired one in against Russia last night, worked it in. Blocked by Stevens. Ahead to Айзерман. Here's Айзерман passing it to Cote, and on right wing Fleury. Shooting it, and that missed by a foot. Stevens on the far side. And it's picked up by Slovakia, and Bacha, the veteran defenseman, will work it over center. Here come the Slovaks on the attack. Played back to Bacha, shooting right on, and Joseph hangs on. Shatan was on the doorstep. And then Shanahan leaves it for Lindros, full head of steam. Eric Lindros barging in, and Bacha got back to knock it off his stick. Shanahan ran over Bacha, and we're getting a penalty to Bacha prior to the Shanahan hit for Slachik. When we return, Glenn Sather's team is on the power play.
Jurgis Bacha is in the penalty box for slashing at 7:34. Bacha just hasn't got the foot speed. Lindros is by him. There's one chop. The second chop, Mark Fossetт had the arm up. Bacha's in the penalty box.
Well, the Canadians came in 4 for 11 in the tournament, 0 for 3 tonight, but the last power play more dangerous with 4 shots on goal. Coffey's high shot tipped down by Lindros. Damfusss plays it to Gretzky. Takes a look back across, and that went off Svela. Sacik moves up from his point position. Damfusss behind the net to Gretzky. Skated Coffey. Over it goes, in front, and that was cut off by Stumple, who gets it out. And we passed the 8-minute mark of the third period. It's a 2-2 tie. Damfusss brings it around to Gretzky on the far side. Stumple was there, and he comes up with it. Can't get it by Sacik at the point. Pass into the slot broken up, and now Boндra back. And Bondra will go for a skate as the penalty killers change, and Canada sends out some fresh troops on the power play.
Joseph Kalanga getting a lot of mileage out of Peter Bondra, Zygmunt Kofffi, and Joseph Stumple. His 3 stars playing a lot, killing penalties, and on the power play.
Koffi goes rink wide to Gretzky, and Sacik, that quick wrist shot, deflecting high and back down the ice. And 45 seconds left in Team Canada's power play. Puck wrapped around by Zetnik, and now Fleury will turn. He has the tying goal in this third period. A lead pass for Shanahan broken up. And back is Hashchak, and he has been one of the Slovaks' best tonight. Down to the final 15 seconds of the power play. And it's Scott Niedermayer hitting Mark Messier, and Messier couldn't take the pass. Dejardin back in his own zone, checked by Seeger. And now Canada 0 for 4 as Bacha returns to the ice. Backhanded in by Fleury, and Mega won't take any chances with Steve Aiserman moving in on him.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
Glenn Sather has his team back on even terms. The power play has been one of the strong suits for Canada in this tournament, but not tonight against Joseph Galanka's team. He told us earlier today, John, our team can play offense. We're worried about our defensive abilities, but they've held the Canadians to 2 goals so far through close to 50 minutes of action.
And after the Russians were 3 for 5 last night, you knew they'd make some adjustments, killing penalties, and they've done pretty well.
They did not have a shot on goal on that last power play, and Galanka, a stern taskmaster, he got rid of the goaltender and 2 defensemen who he wasn't happy with last night, and obviously the teams responded this evening.
I like how most coaches will beat around the bush and say, well, you know, it's a numbers game, we want to give everybody some ice time. Not Joseph Galanka. He said individual mistakes, and those individuals aren't playing tonight.
Keith Primo after it. Primo out with Claude Lemieux along the boards, and Aiserman centering this line now. Here's Aiserman behind the net, putting it back to Stevens. He dumps it into the corner, and Claude Lemieux is there. Former New Jersey teammates out together, Lemieux and Stevens. There's Aiserman playing it to Lemieux. Primo is in front of the net. Lemieux can't get it out front. And it's played around the boards, knocked down by Cote. Good play to keep it in, and now the Slovaks will get it out off the stick of Bondra and down the ice. Not Stevens. Funny Karam off the corner boards there, and Aiserman out at center ice. Here's Ottawa native Steve Aiserman hitting the line. Can't get loose. And a lead pass over 2 lines is called on the offside. Back to the Corral Center as Koffy puts it in front. There's a shot blocked in front. And the Slovaks are up with it. Seeger sends it over on right wing. Hashchak couldn't find it. Seeger has it again, hands it to Linden, who can't corral it. And Otto Hashchak sends it into the Canada zone. 8:45 to go in this 2-2 tie. And if it's tied at the end of regulation time, we'll go to a 10-minute overtime period. Bacha takes his return feed from Hashchak. Bacha, shot blocked by Foot. Hashchak on it, centers it off Koffy to Curtis Joseph, and he'll pounce on the loose puck. 8:26 to play in regulation time.
But he hasn't had any breakaways on him. Curtis Joseph has had 3 years of pass out. Paul Koffy has Kolnik all tied up, gives it to his goaltender. Joseph alert, he falls on it, gets the whistle.
Dimitra and Messier on the face-off, won by Team Canada. Play to the line, kept in by Bacha. Dimitra after it, and he'll backhand it into the Canada zone. Here's Eric Dejardin over center, flipping it in, and Shanahan will forecheck. Shanahan after it, so is Lindros crashing in there. Messier trying to knock it free, and he does send it deep. Shanahan in the corner. Lindros was out in front. Now Lindros gets it out to Dejardin. There's the flip shot in front. Batted down, and Zednik has it. And he'll just dump it to center ice. Here's Dimitra scooting in. Up against Dejardin, the centering pass knocked away. Miroslav Shatan has it. He drops it off. Kropa's shot wide of the mark. Shatan behind the net. Miroslav Shatan knocked off the puck by Dejardin. Shatan looking for it again. It's centered! Joseph, one save and another! Still down. Curtis Joseph comes up big for Canada as the Slovaks come that close to taking the lead.
Canada's defense gets all tied up. Eric Dejardin is in trouble. The puck is in his skates, and Scott Niedermayer comes in. Niedermayer and Dejardin are both behind the net. Niedermayer shows some rookie mistakes. He's one of the youngsters on this team. Got trapped in behind the net, and Curtis Joseph bailed both his defensemen out. Wide open. Joseph, the first save, the second save, gets in position, follows the puck, good concentration, makes the third save.
Oh, Richard Zednik's going to think about that tonight. Two chances right in front of Curtis Joseph, and it's still 2-2 with 7:15 to play in regulation time in Canada's final game of the round robin in the North American pool. The Slovaks seem intent on trying to make it the final game for Canada in the tournament. Sylvain Cote, long lead pass, too far for Sackick, who races after it against Svela. Aiserman's in after it. He's taken off the puck, and Svela coolly plays it ahead on the tape to Zygmunt Palffy with Bondra. Here's Peter Bondra misfiring on the shot. Scott Stevens. Boy, the Slovaks can counterattack, and now the Canadians on the move, but Fleury's pass missed Sackick. Sylvain Cote off the boards. Chopped back in and over the glass off the stick of Fleury. 6:22 to play.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's World Cup.
Chris, you talk about the ability of this Slovak team to counterattack, and it's Palffy and Bondra and Stumpel who are the players. They get in behind the defense, create those 3-on-2s, and they're dangerous. 2-on-2, 3-on-2. Here's Bondra off the feet. Great puck control. We saw on his goal how he could control the rolling puck there. He used his feet, kicked it up, and had a good scoring chance.
Here's another chance now. The puck just shot wide. Zednik behind the net trying to center it. It comes back to the point. Buknok keeps it alive for Slovakia. Quick shot on Joseph, and he's going to hang on because the Slovakian team has had some chances in the last couple of minutes, and the concern reflected at the Canadian bench.
Great start here in the third period, the Fleury goal, but then that power play at 7:34 on the Bacha slash on Lindros seemed to turn the momentum back in favor of the Slovaks. They did a great job killing that penalty. Canada's power play, which has been very ineffective tonight, seemed to make the whole team sag, and the fans started to boo them again. And the fans who were very involved here at the start of the third period now trying to get something going again.
Well, if the Czechs have been the biggest disappointment of the tournament so far, the Slovaks have been one of the most pleasant surprises, and in the case of Canadians, maybe a shock. 6:04 left. Third period, 2-2. Messier and Hashchak, and Canada gets it out from the faceoff. Varholak off the boards. Out to Seeger, he lost it, and Lindros brings it in. Eric Lindros looking for Shanahan, but the Slovaks turn. Seeger and Hashchak over the line. They're stopped, and Shanahan pushes it ahead. Messier with momentum. Takes the wrist shot high on Mega. That shot ricocheted off his skate to the backboards, and Messier's there with Shanahan. Messier along the boards. Varholak trying to tie it up. Shanahan got it loose. Couldn't get it to Lindros in front. Eager to the line, just rules it in as the Slovaks make a change, and now Canada changing their front line as well. Lindros stays out, and it's turned over, and here's Zednik moving back into the backhand, and that one whipped just wide. Richard Zednik looking dangerous. He's after it again, fights off his man. Here's Zednik moving into the slot, shooting, and that deflects off the target. And the Slovaks are taking it to Team Canada. Now it's sent ahead. Lindros still out on the ice. And here's Lindros, and Dropa sprawling to knock it off his stick. Puck ahead for Shatan. Working into the zone, trying to work by Dejardin, hit the side of the net. Here's a puck in front, and it's pounded wide by Ribovic, but there's a high sticking penalty going against Slovakia. 4:27 to go.
The World Cup of Hockey returns to Gurel Center on Friday, September.
Well, the Slovak fans are enjoying this. No penalty, by the way, on the play. A high stick on the puck, and here's how it happened.
Here's the high stick, and the good solid hit by Niedermayer, and I can see why you thought there might be a penalty. Niedermayer had his elbow up. No penalty called by Mark Fossetts.
Trying to get me off the hook?
Yes.
Thanks. 4:15 to play. Regulation time. A 2-2 tie. Canada and Slovakia. Fleury after it for Canada against Botchup. There's Joe Sacik prying it free for Aiserman behind the net. And now Sacik again has control. Sips the shot. Make it, rebound, scores! Steve Aiserman!
From in front, Joe Sacik, the wrist shot, and Sacik always hits the net. Aiserman's there for the screen. Sacik spins, fires. Aiserman screens the goaltender and then gets the rebound. Vega, no chance. He couldn't see the shot from Sacik. Who's the screen? It's Aiserman. Who gets the rebound? Aiserman. Spin around, quick backhand. No chance for Roman Vega.
Oh, how sweet that is for the guy who did not make the 87 or 91 teams, and because of a knee problem almost missed the final cut on this team. But Steve Aiserman has thrilled his hometown fans with a go-ahead goal. But it's not done yet. 3-2 Canada. Sacik gets the assist at 16-10.
16-10.
Come the Slovaks back with Hashchak leading the way. He lost the puck at the line, and turning back, it's Lindros to Cote, long shot, and Mega gloves that, and he'll hold on.
Steve Aiserman, Joe Sacik, and T.Fleury have really given Team Canada a spark here in the third period. Fleury with a goal, and now Aiserman with the goal. Net cam look, Roman Mega is looking right through Aiserman's legs, can't find the puck, and there's Aiserman getting the rebound off the Sacik wrist shot. No chance for Mega, and he has been unbelievable tonight. That's 37 shots on goal fired his way. No chance on that one.
At 11:30 this morning, when Steve Aiserman was asked by one of our crew if he was playing tonight, he said no. But the Canadian coaching staff made the decision to change it up and give him a shot in his hometown, and he has come up enormous in this third period. There's Zednik beating it across, and that shot off the skate wide. These Slovaks won't quit. 3 minutes to go, and Shanahan slow to get up. Here's a chance in front, and it bounced off over Zednik's skate, and Shanahan knocks his man down. There are two Slovaks on the ice. Dimitra down, and another on the hit by Shanahan. Centered in front, and Shanahan's all tied up. The Slovakians are in an uproar, and their coach has hopped over the boards.
Is this one of the coaches or the trainer. Out they come.
It's Zednik and
Dimitra
down. That's Zednik.
Zednik seems to be some blood. Shanahan was clipped with a high stick, and he stayed down. There was no call. He got up, and he was a runaway train through Zednik and Dimitra. They both look like they're going to be all right. Zednik is up on one knee. He's nodding at Peter Boндра. Yeah, going to be okay. Future teammates, I would say. Zednik, draft choice of the Washington Capitals, and Pavel Dimitra looks like he is more injured than Zednik.
I think Zednik got the stick of Dimitra. Let's see how it happened. Now, Shanahan had just gotten up himself, and he had been shaken up.
There's Shanahan, and yes, it is. It's the stick of Dimitra comes across and catches Zednik in the face.
And now there is a conference in front of the scorekeepers area where Mark Fossetт is conferring with the linesman. I guess he just wants to make sure that was a high stick from Zednik's teammate and not one of the Team Canada players.
And Mark Fossetт talking things over with Peter Boндra, and Joseph Galanka looks on.
2:39 to play, and Canada has a 3-2 lead. And let's take a look at how Brendan Shanahan was shaken up just prior to that.
There's Zednik, and he rakes Shanahan right in the face with the high stick, and there was no call on that play. Here's Zednik, the stick up by the shoulder, and then right in Shanahan's face. Shanahan laid on the ice, didn't get the call, and then he retaliated, but it wasn't Shanahan's stick. It was Dimitra's stick that caught Zednik.
Zednik not shy about the rough going. He played with Portland last year and picked up 154 penalty minutes in the Western Hockey League.
Now here comes Shanahan after the hit. He catches the knee of Dimitra, and there's the stick catching Zednik across the face. Here's the high stick. Zednik on Shanahan, high stick, catches him, no call. Now, had there been a call there, this all would have been avoided. Shanahan's down, there's no call. He's going to retaliate. He comes back. Dimitra sees him coming, tries to get out of the way. Shanahan catches his leg, and Dimitra's stick catches Zednik's face.
And through all that, no penalties called.
Joseph Galanka, he has a case. There should have been a call on Shanahan, but there should have been a call on Zednik.
Canada wins the faceoff. There's a shot drifting high over the shoulder of Mega. After it, Fleury sandwiched along the boards. Айзерман after it. Айзерман, the hero right now to Sacik, and that shot just went wide. Ribovic out to center ice. 2:20 left. Canada holding on to a precarious one-goal lead as Švehla is back to touch it, and icing called against the Canadians.
Glenn Sather comes right back with the Fleury line. Fleury, Айзерман, and Sacik. They have been the spark plugs here in the third period.
Fleury with the tying goal, and Айзерман with the go-ahead marker.
Айзерман with the assist on the Fleury goal.
Who would have thought it would have been such a battle tonight? Slovakia lost their first exhibition game to the Americans 9-2. Canada won 7-4 in Edmonton. They lost 7-4 to Russia last night, but they have given Canada all they could handle here tonight, and it's still not done. A one-goal lead for the Canadians with 2:13 to play. Seeger behind the net, knocked away by Coffee, kept in at the line. And now the Canadians get it out off the stick of Linden. Here's Zdeno Seeger. Trying to feed it ahead. That's Hashchak, or Kolnik over the line. Couldn't handle the bouncing pass. And it's flipped down the ice, broken up by Dropa. Otherwise, Gretzky may have had a break. Now Seeger Into Canadian territory again. He's checked. Gretzky plays it across, and Linden over the line returns it to Gretzky. Down to 90 seconds to play in regulation time. 3-2 Canada. They've outshot the Slovaks 37-22, and Canada will have to be wary of that breakaway pass that the Slovaks play so well. Here's Varholek. Long shoot in on Joseph. Rebound knocked away by Stevens. Picked up by Fleury. Here goes T.Fleury with Aiserman again. Fleury shooting it right on Mega down. Aiserman on the doorstep again.
This line has really been the difference here in the third period, and Glenn Sather is going back to them every other shift. Here's Aaron Fleury cutting across, protecting the puck, pushing it out. Talked about the size advantage of this Team Canada team, but the smallest line has done it here in the third period. Sackick, Fleury, and Steve Aiserman. Steve Aiserman drives to the net, goes to the net hard. Fleury goes wide and just fires it at the net. And this time, Steve Aiserman gets hit. Instead of providing the screen, he knocks it down, and he can't reach back to get it.
He played 4 games in the Canada Cup in '84 as a 19-year-old. Did not score a goal. He has his first goal of this level of competition tonight, and it's enormous. Final minute here. 3-2 Canada. Messier rolls it in. Lindros crashing in there against Svela. Robert Svela now plays it ahead at center. That's Palffy who has to turn back. Svela will try it again as Messier will look to bottle them up right there. Bacha to Stumple. Off Palffy deep into the Canada zone. Stevens around the boards. There's Messier. Along the boards, kept in by the Slovaks. Now the extra attacker on the ice for Slovakia, and Bacha off the blue line came in shot wide. It's back to Bacha again. Playing it across, Svela looking for Hashchak. Under 10 seconds to go now. Canada holding on to this 1-goal lead. Slovaks looking for a shot. It's not going to come, and it's cleared out, and Canada wins it, and they will advance. We're still not sure what place they'll finish in the North American pool, but Canada breathes a big sigh of relief and posts a 3-2 win.
And Glenn Sather claps his hands on the Team Canada bench. His team needed some spark in the third period. They got it from Steve Aiserman, Theoren Fleury, and Joe Sackick, and they got great, consistent goaltending from Curtis Joseph.
Well, Roman Mega was huge in a losing cause for Slovakia.